ladies and gentlemen, to Motor City Uncut, episode 169 here on May 21st. It's not funny.
69.
You guys are such children. Anyway, welcome to episode 169 here, presented by the Major Sports Network Detroit here on May 21st, 2018. We were off last week, mostly due to a lack of stuff to talk about. Am I the only one getting the reverb in the...
No, I mean, it's probably my microphone, like always.
Yeah, unplug it and plug it back in like always. Yep, that's it. Of course it is, Sean. Way to go.
Keep talking, Dorf. I'm
working on it. I'm gonna keep getting us going. So, off last week just due to a lack of content, and this week we're back at it. We're gonna cover actually some stuff from last week. Kind of a new update on a story that we would have covered last week had we been on. And also another programming note for next week. Next Monday is Memorial Day. We will not be having a show on Memorial Day.
That's correct.
Because no one wants to do that. I mean, Sean's going to be in...
There we go.
Sean's in Mackinac anyway.
Yes, I am.
You're going to Mackinac?
Yep, I'm in Mackinac Island all week.
Big turtle.
Yes,
cool.
sir.
You going to bring your car?
Yes, I'm going to drive over the water and get to there.
He's got one of them boat cars.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Or I'm going to drive it right up onto the ferry. I don't think they're going to notice.
Fuck Mackinac.
Hit up Selfridge on the way there and borrow one of the heavy lift helicopters.
Okay, I could do that. I could do that.
I've never been to Mackinac.
Really?
Never
You
been
either.
You've never been there either?
No, let's say his lady Amanda hasn't been there either.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We were talking about that.
I've only been like to the UP once in my entire life. Is that un-Michigan of me to never been to Mackinac?
Kind of.
I mean, you're in your 30s.
I'm in my 30s. And yeah, I've never been. I don't know. I guess I have no desire to go to Mackinac too.
Really?
Yeah.
It's sounding fun there, actually.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's just...
I mean, it's quite cultured.
Not my thing, I guess. I'm not an up north type of guy. I want to go to Traverse City. Traverse City seems cool, but...
You've never been to Traverse City either?
Never been to Traverse City.
Man, you go watch Traverse City Beach Bums. Heck yeah.
Independent League Baseball.
Watch some, see, I don't know, I think Willie Mopena still plays for them.
Really?
What?
Yeah, I remember
He was in Japan last I
Yeah,
heard.
I remember he played for him a while ago. I don't know if he still is.
Willie Mopena still playing baseball? That's where he's at?
He was there.
Dorf's looking
I
it up.
Dorf's looking up his
right
roster.
now.
I swear, maybe he was on there. Maybe I'm thinking he was on the the ski or whatever you call it.
That is not even close.
No.
Where's he at?
I was.
He's working at
I was
Walmart,
looking at the
isn't he?
Beach Bums. He's like 40.
I'll look him up. RC.
There's no.
So wait, does he?
There's
play
only one name that looks familiar. It's actually former Tigers farmhand Will Kanger. Other than that, I don't recognize anybody.
They're called the Beach Bums.
Yeah.
What league is it? Independent?
Yeah, it's
independent.
Frontier League.
Yeah, Frontier League.
Okay. Wow.
Willie Mopena is currently, according to his baseball reference page, not an affiliated baseball and hasn't been for some time.
Is he playing softball now?
Probably. He's from the DR. I wonder if he's stuck around.
He probably has like a farm where he's hacking off people.
That's Oogie Urbina.
Oh, sorry.
And that was Venezuela too, you asshole.
Oh God.
Oh, poor Oogie Urbina. Hey, he needed something done and didn't get done. Is that what it was?
That's hilarious.
Doused him in gasoline.
Yeah, he tried to set him on fire. Who hasn't had a situation where that's happened, where you want something done and it doesn't get done, so
you douse your hired help in gasoline and take a machete to him.
Who hasn't done that before?
I guess Willie Mopena's been in Japan for the past.
I thought he was in Japan. Or
yeah, he's
Korea.
not playing this year. 2017 was the last year he played. Yeah, he hit 15 bombs last year, 38 RBIs.
Whoop-de-doo.
I know.
Sean's gonna want the Tigers to take a look at him. Probably.
That'd be awesome.
Dorf and I will be getting a message. Be like, hey, what do you guys think about Willie Mopena?
That would be sweet.
Tigers sign him as a
No, but doesn't Sean do that a lot? Doesn't he do that a lot? Like whenever somebody hits the open market, like Matt Harvey.
Yeah.
Matt Harvey hits the.
So and so got.
I'm like, what do you guys think? I'm like,
So and so got DFA'd today. Should the Tigers take a look? No.
Hasn't Matt? I know. Didn't Matt Harvey have a couple starts already?
Yeah, he's
Dorf's
actually
usually-
quite
Dorf-
good for the Reds.
I know he's been actually pretty good.
Dorf's usually the first to respond, and usually
He's
it's the
like,
one where
"Hell
that's it."
no."
And usually it's no.
No explanation required.
No.
That's hilarious.
Anyway, do we want to get this show on the
Yeah,
road
let's
finally?
get it going. Let's get
Why
it going.
not?
Yeah, we only started 49 minutes late.
Sorry about that.
Into a 1 hour show because somebody got stuck at work late. Left us out in
It
the
wasn't, and it
cold.
wasn't Sean.
Yeah, it wasn't me because I was actually here at 6. I was here before all you guys.
Yeah, we beat you to your own house by like an hour.
Sorry about that.
We're chilling on the front porch
Yeah.
and just hanging out.
Acting like we were like sitting on the front.
We were
porch
like an
on
old
your
married
chair.
couple.
Yeah, like an old.
It was
married
kinda
couple
cute.
watching the rain.
Were you guys making comments about people as they walked by?
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah.
it was pouring, so they drove by. But yeah,
Tell them to stop.
Hey,
my
you
lawn.
damn hooligans are driving too fast. Slow down.
you have my lawn.
Uh,
No, did not. Talked about Sean's upcoming vacation.
yes.
Yes. Anyway, first topic I'd like to introduce tonight for discussion is it time for Detroit Pistons fans to start boycotting the ownership of the team by Tom Gores? Why I say that is it's the NBA scouting combine is over, if I remember correctly, or almost over.
Mhm.
They still don't have a general manager. The guy who is there representing your organization is a guy that you're not going to retain. It's the team president who is going to get fired anyway. That being, or not team president, general manager Jeff Bauer, who was second fiddle in the basketball ops organization last year.
Last I heard, though, Jeff Bauer is being considered to be president of basketball operations.
Why?
which- Okay, I'm sorry. Continue, Dorf.
We're going to get to that eventually, but anyway, he's the guy that's there, and unless, of course, he gets the job, there's no chance he sticks around. Now, you may argue that it really doesn't matter because the Pistons don't have a pick till, 42nd overall?
Second round or something like that?
Well, they don't have a first round pick.
I think it's
Yeah.
like the 19th pick in the second round or something like that.
I thought it was number 42 overall, if I remember
I'll check
correctly.
real quick.
Because they should have picked 12th. Their spot in the lottery came up 12th when there's 30 teams that would have... Yeah, okay. So it's probably 42nd. Pretty
And
sure I'm
that's
right.
going
about
to, and that's going to the Clippers.
that. The 12th overall pick, yes. It's going to the Clippers, yes. So it doesn't really matter because you're going to be picking from, chicken shit at that point anyway, so who cares? Anyway, it's still not a good look because you took forever to fire SVG. You didn't have a plan it'd be one thing to wait this long
Mm-hmm.
if you were just trying to iron out the details of his replacement, where we're debating over how much use of the corporate jet you get, and for the off season on your personal time, if that's what you're bickering about with your new front office executive. But you didn't do that. You waited till 4 weeks after your season was over to fire him. You didn't have a replacement in place, and oh, by the way, the most important time where the general manager does most of his work is right now.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have one. Nor do you. Head coach, I'm not necessarily worried about as much. But
No,
you're not going to hire a coach
you're
before
right.
you hire a general manager.
You're right. I'm not. I mean, going back to the whole Stan Van Gundy thing, I'm under the impression that he didn't really get fired. I'm under the impression that he left.
It was the we want you to just coach.
I think that was part of it,
And
I
he
also
said,
think
do that. If that's what you want, I don't want any part of this.
he probably
shenanigans.
wanted a contract extension too.
Yeah.
Well, as an executive or a coach in a non-capped position, it's a non-salary
Yeah.
cap position. You never coach in the final year.
No,
of your deal.
yeah, he probably wanted a contract extension. He probably came in and said,
And that's
"I want
normal.
this." Yeah, and he didn't want to be lame duck, and he wasn't getting what he wanted, and Gores, I'm sure, wasn't comfortable, giving him a contract extension based on performance so far.
Mhm.
So I understand mutual parting of ways is probably essentially what it was, but. You're absolutely right, Dorf. It would seem at this point right now that you would have a plan B set in place because, like you just mentioned, this is
The most important time of the year.
It is the most important, aside from trade deadlines or anything like that. Right now is extremely important. Combine, getting yourself prepared for the NBA draft,
setting up and getting ready for free agency.
Getting set up for free agency, so on and so forth.
Trade season.
Yep. And it's not happening right now. We haven't heard anything. And the only thing that I have heard was the whole thing that they may end up promoting Jeff Bauer to president of basketball operations. Which, if that's the case, why did you do it? Do it, or why did you get rid of Van Gundy to begin with?
Right.
So you're going to be putting in, and this is what I can't stand up. And it seems, again, sticking with Detroit sports here, I couldn't stand when the Lions did that with Matt Millen. Bringing in Martin Mayhew, Millen's second-hand man, and then them doing it again here with the Pistons. I'm like, okay, well, not to say that they're already done it, but let's go ahead and just bring in the guy who we just fired, his second-hand man. That doesn't make any sense. If you're looking for a fresh start in all of this, which again I understand, then don't do it half-assed. Go, let's see an actual.
Let's clean house.
Let's clean house. Let's see something actually new here. I mean, we heard about the Arn Tellem. We heard about the Chauncey Billups thing earlier on this past season. If that's what you want to do, then do it.
Time's running out.
That seems that hey, I'm sure that's something that people in Detroit here can get behind. Chauncey Billups in the front office. And it's not like Chauncey Billups is somebody who is, let's just go ahead and give him a chance. The Cavaliers are ready to give Chauncey Billups the general manager job this past offseason. They were ready to do that until they went in a different direction. So it's not completely out of the ordinary that Chauncey Billups are completely insane that they're going to go ahead and give Chauncey Billups this job, or they're considering Chauncey Billups for this job. If that's what you want to do, then go ahead and do it. Just get somebody get somebody in there so we can, get on with business here this offseason.
No kidding. I mean, and this isn't even, the handling of this, the whole coach and general manager situation alone is enough to, draw the ire of a fan base and, become the laughing stock of your league, let alone that your attendance is a joke. The silver bullet was supposed to be moving downtown. Accessibility. Now you don't have to go 30 miles up 75 from the city to get to the stadium.
Which was shit to begin with, Dorf, because when they were winning, that place was packed.
You don't have to go up, north of 70. You don't have to go north on 75 to get to the stadium, yada, yada. It's so much easier to get to. Nobody showed up. You never saw your owner. And when you did, he was quite obviously inebriated.
It's very true.
Very, very quite obviously inebriated. It's a joke. Is this? I know it's only year 4 of his ownership.
It's year 4 or 5.
He's already tripled his money. Get out. Sell the team. You obviously don't want it. Can't even bother to come out and watch games. Can't even bother to leave California to come watch games. I think you were at 3 games all year.
I don't know, he's invested. He's invested, though. I mean, maybe not so much into.
He paid $300 million for the team. The team's probably worth $1 billion now.
The thing is, it's not as much as that. I mean, he's invested. It seems like into keeping the team first of all. But it seems like there's some sort of investment here to the rest of the city because I mean, you're hearing about him being involved in the whole MLS bid to get a team, an MLS team here in Detroit. And it's him and Tom Goris and the Ford family's also involved with it. And it doesn't seem like he's going anywhere or wants to do anything other than keep the team and keep on doing business. But I'm not saying you're wrong, Dorf. I'm not saying that, you're wrong in your frustration or anything like that. I just think that he's here to stay when it comes to
I will posit this to you. Is it time to start treating his ownership the way that Lions fans treated William Clay Ford at the end?
I hesitate to say yes because
I mean you don't have the decades of ineptitude.
No, I mean we're in very. I still think we're
Pistons
in very,
have won.
Yeah, the Pistons have won.
Sean, the last championship they won was 14 seasons ago.
Yeah. And the last championship the Lions have won.
It was
never.
It was and it wasn't even a Super Bowl. It was like 1958 before there were Super Bowls or something like that. Or 54.
Never.
Yeah, they've never won a Super
Yeah.
Bowl. I see what you're saying, Dorf. I just hesitate to, draw any correlation from Pistons to Lions.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I hesitate from that standpoint. I mean, should fans be, voicing out and, clamoring for something better? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's the case with any team, whether it's the Red Wings, the Tigers, the Pistons, the Lions, whoever. I think that's something that fans should always be doing. And I've always hated that argument, and I'm sure you do too, Dorf, where, a fan will speak out about, their frustrations or something with a team, and then immediately they might get shot down and be like, well, what would you do? Or you think you could do it better? And it's like, well, that's not my job to, go and be the general manager of a team. And I mean, you have people out there whose job that is to do something like that. I mean, I'm sure a general manager of some team could go and do my job any better than what I can do. But yeah, I think fans should be clamoring. Fans should be demanding more of their teams, especially in the case of the Pistons. Yeah, they haven't won in a while. They haven't been good in a while. Yeah, they should be voicing out. They should be,
They haven't been good. When was the last time you could argue that they were good? 2007?
I would say 2006. Because it was back-to-back years. Then we went to the championship. Remember? Was it 04 they won, then 05, 06?
Well, they had that. Well, when they had Flip in here too, they had that streak of Eastern Conference Finals appearances too, and that was the end of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's when it was decided that going to the Eastern Conference Finals
is no longer good enough.
Is no longer good enough. Which again, I don't disagree with, and that was always my thing with the Tigers. Winning all these AL division titles is great.
But we want to win a World Series.
Enough,
yeah, but when you're getting swept in the World Series, when you do get there, or winning one game, it's no longer good enough.
That's the thing that sucks specifically about the Jim Leland era in Detroit. Made it to the World Series twice. Went 1-8.
Won one game.
Mm-hmm.
1-8 in World Series.
Yep.
Whoops.
I love Jim Leland too.
I know.
I love him.
I loved his attitude. He told you straightforward.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about Pistons-wise before we move on?
Becky Hammon. Thoughts?
Got to have the right relationship with the general manager.
Mm-hmm.
So until the general manager
Don't put the
comes
cart
in.
before the horse.
So,
and I have a feeling she'll get snapped up by somebody else before you get your ducks in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I would be very, very intrigued, though, with her hiring. And I think... And the thing that intrigues me about her is
it would
she's
certainly be uncharted territory.
Well, she's a Popovich disciple.
Yeah, and
I love that.
I would love. Yeah,
I love that. I mean,
and especially having somebody like that tell him that she's if Popovich is saying that she's ready, he's a guy where you're like, all right, I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna do it. It's like saying Joe Torre telling how you know how to catch.
How many coaches off the Popovich tree have ever really had success? How many guys off the Popovich tree have ever gone anywhere? I don't know this question.
I'm not sure either.
I don't know the
That's
answer.
some good
But
research.
one of his assistants already hired this year, though.
Oh yeah,
This offseason, yes. So he would, if somebody were to hire her away, then yeah, he would have lost both of his assistants this offseason.
well they have like usually 5, but
And it's not like she's been with Popovich for a season or two.
Mm-hmm.
She's been with him
for quite a while.
She's been with him for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
4 years. And she also...
some notable names off the Popovich coaching tree are Brett Brown of the 76ers, Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Overall, there's been, 9-10 guys that have been direct hires. And then 2 branches out, there's been a couple other ones too.
It doesn't seem like you get that tree, though, in basketball like you might in football. The Bill Parcells tree.
There's a whole lot more coaches in football
The
too
Belichick
compared to
tree, too.
basketball.
The Bill Belichick tree, yeah. Or, the, what else? Like the Tony Dungy tree. I mean, you always...
Mm-hmm.
It seems like that's more prominent in football than
Mm-hmm.
you would see a coaching tree in basketball. But, I mean, that same stigma, though... I would love to see somebody young, somebody who isn't recycled. I don't want to say the Brad Stevens mold, but something new.
Mm-hmm. I'm down for it. I really am. I think she could be something that could spice up, Detroit, change it. We need something like that. Like you said, we need something new. We need something to go out there and just clean the house and just have fun.
But Dorf is ultimately right, though. I mean, you don't want to put the cart before the horse. I mean, it should be whoever the new general manager is going to be should be the one making that hire. That shouldn't be the owner making that hire.
Yeah, let's not pull a Martha. And I love Jim Caldwell. Bob, you have to keep him.
Did you know she's a dual U.S. Russian citizen?
I didn't.
Yeah,
really.
She in fact, people were pissed off at her because she wasn't on I forget what year it was. She wasn't going to be on the U.S. basketball roster, so she went and got Russian citizenship.
Becky Hammond.
Becky Hammond.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Martha Ford.
I thought you were talking Martha.
I know. I was sitting there. I was like, what?
I'm pretty sure like Diana Taurasi is too. Like the WNBA, especially in like the mid 2000s when they weren't making literally diddly squat for money, they'd play here all year and then go play in the off season in Russia for like 3 times as much as they made here and just play year round.
But she played for the Russian national team though.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
I know people were pissed off. I'm not pissed off at her about that, but I know people were pissed
Chris
off. Chris
Kaman, who's from Michigan, by the way.
Went to Central.
Yeah, went to Central.
And he's psychotic.
Played for the fucking German national team because his grandma was half German.
Mm-hmm.
That's always great though, especially when the World Baseball Classic rolls around, and you're seeing some of these guys play for Israel or the Netherlands or something. It's like, oh yeah,
he's 1/16th.
Or he had
he's slightly Jewish.
I think he had a layover in Belgium before,
so you became a citizen for 4 hours.
So that's his connection.
He bought a puppy across seas.
Yeah, he had dinner in Windsor one time, so
he's Canadian now.
Yeah, Russell Martin is going to play shortstop for Canada. Apparently the Pirates wouldn't let him. So he had to back out of the last WBC because not the Pirates, the Blue Jays weren't going to let him play shortstop. That's what he wanted to do. He's like, it was my first love, quite frankly. I thought I was better at it than catcher, but catcher got me to the big leagues. If I could have one thing back, I would love to have been a shortstop.
Oh, so he wanted to play shortstop?
Yeah, apparently he was a shortstop convert in the minor leagues. So, anyway.
Interesting.
On to more serious stuff. The Matt Patricia saga, we have not been on air since that broke.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know, back in 1996, Matt Patricia was a college student. Was indicted on sexual assault charges in Texas while on spring break. Trial never ended up going through due to a lack of a cooperating witness. The witness was no longer willing to testify. The prosecution no longer had a case. Or they dropped it. Let's put it this way. They dropped it due to a lack of a cooperating
Similar
witness.
to what happened with Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. Although you doubt that there probably wasn't a bag man in that scenario. Anyway, so it's been dead, buried, and out of sight since. 4 months after his hiring, all of a sudden, your lovely neighborhood newspaper drops the bomb that, oh, by the way, this happened. And how do the Lions not know? Criminal background check. I hate to break it to you guys. Deadspin wrote an article right afterwards. Well, we found it in 30 seconds. How did the Lions not? Well, you knew to look for it. You knew exactly when to look for it. Criminal background checks usually only go back 7 years, except for very specific crimes. And those are ones that you do serious felony jail time for.
And then this one wasn't even indicted, so...
he was indicted, but he wasn't convicted.
At the time, in Texas, you know what it takes to be indicted? 9 of 12 people in a grand jury think it's what the prosecution has brought to them, because you only get to hear from the prosecution, is plausible.
Mm-hmm.
Not that there's not even a preponderance of evidence that what they brought to you is plausible. The defense doesn't get to be present at the grand jury hearing. You don't get to hear from them at all. That's all it takes. 9 out of 12. So 9 out of 12 people thought that the story brought to the police was possible. And it was dropped. Okay. It's dead and buried. I can't blame the Lions here. I really can't because at a criminal background check, which I'm sure they conducted, they really only go back 7 to 10 years. This is 21, 22 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Dorf, I agree with you in the sense that the Lions.
I can't fault the Lions here.
I really can't fault the Lions either because, like you said, I think it was a perfect explanation when you mentioned the Deadspin articles that Deadspin knew what to look for.
Well, yeah, when you have dates in a city, you can pull arrest records really easy.
Yeah. If he wasn't convicted, if he wasn't found guilty,
Correct.
would that be on a criminal background check
No.
anyway?
That's what I'm saying.
Indictments wouldn't show up on a criminal background check. They probably won't. But if you know dates and names and stuff, and time frames and cities, you can pull an arrest record. But arrest records, if without charges or convictions,
mm-hmm.
don't show up on background checks, especially when they're that old.
My question, though, when it comes to all of this, is why didn't Patricia disclose it himself? And again, he's not coming out, and he's not interviewing for an assistant head coaching job. He's not interviewing for some role in the front office or anything like that. He is getting a head coaching job for an NFL team. And given today's day and age, given what has happened over the past year and a half,
get that shit out.
I'm figuring that this stuff is going to come out like it already has. And it doesn't matter who you are. It's going to come out. And if he wants to get ahead of it, the proper thing to do would seem is to disclose it.
A tell-all. For the exact same reasons you said, today's day and age, I believe is the reason he chose not to disclose it. The last thing you need, by the way...
Well, what's to hide then? He wasn't convicted.
Because in the modern media culture, all you hear is name and sexual assault allegations, and you're done.
Mm-hmm.
It's game fucking over for you. Doesn't matter if there's any truth, any truth to it, or hell... Yes, indictment is a big, scary word that most people don't understand.
You know what?
Here, let me finish.
Go ahead.
Even more reason to not bring it up, because there's so many people in the modern culture who are so afraid of that word. That they'll dogpile on because you don't want to be considered a victim blamer or someone who doesn't believe people who claim sexual assault. Or someone who encourages it. So people are going to dogpile on regardless of the facts of the case. Or the facts, the true reality of the situation. And you have others that will, immediately throw you under the bus regardless of the circumstances. There's no reason to, if no one else is going to bring it up, why would you? Why would you drag that up and potentially risk it on your own? There's no way in hell if I'm in his position. Especially if I'm Matt. And I know, I didn't do anything. I know I'm not guilty. Why would I bring? Oh, by the way, somebody, filed a, false police report on me 20 years ago. If I know, if I'm Matt Patricia and I know I'm truly innocent, and nothing, it would have gotten. If we had gone to trial, I would have won. Why would I bring it up? There's so much. All you can do is lose if you're Matt Patricia. And that's another thing I want to get into in his press conference, and a bunch of people getting shit for how he handled it. There's no way in hell he can come out a winner in that, or even save face. Everybody's going, they want blood, regardless of the reality of the situation. So they don't look bad. People will call for blood because they don't want to look bad, regardless of the facts. There's nothing. Why his what one statement he kept repeating? I have it up here. I want to quote it directly. The truth is on my side. And that's all I'm gonna. Then that's essentially all I'm gonna say. And I wasn't able to. I'm as innocent then as I was as I am now, and I regret 21 years ago that I wasn't able to show my side of the situation because we didn't get that far. And I can see why he didn't want to bring it up. He has nothing to win by bringing it up. Nothing to gain. Everything to lose.
But it's going to come out anyway.
Then let it come out.
Okay, but if you let it come out, then
you're arguing you'd rather play offense than defense?
Yes. In this sense, yes, because
there's no effective offense for
because
it's
a better look. Look, he doesn't have to disclose this.
It's a horrible look, regardless of
whether
you bring it up or somebody else does.
He doesn't have to disclose this to the public. He doesn't have to come out and say, "Look, this happened in 1996, so on and so forth. It never went to trial. And I was never convicted of anything, and I maintain my innocence to this day." That never.
So you're saying you should have told the Lions, and that's it.
You said basically in the interview or whatever.
Yes,
that's when you should have done.
Yes, that's when it should have happened. And then when it comes out, you be like, "Hey, I discussed this with the Lions during my interview. They
didn't have a problem with it.
They did. I was very forthcoming with them with what happened back in 1996.
Mm-hmm.
I maintain my innocence to this day, and I would be happy to answer any questions. Now that I'm standing on this podium. However, I felt, given the situation, given, the time that we are living in now, I would have felt that it was important for me to disclose that. I thought it would have been fair to Martha Ford and the rest of the Lions to make this very apparent right here and now during that interview, before we moved forward with anything else. They were okay with it. They supported me during it, and we are moving forward with the rest of the season. I'll take your questions.
That's all fine and dandy, but as soon as you have Matt Patricia and sexual assault in a headline somewhere, you've lost control of the narrative.
Have we though?
The rest
would we?
Yeah.
Would we?
Oh, absolutely.
Would we though?
You and I probably not.
I want to know. See, that's something that we'll never know. That's something we'll never be sure of.
Give me about 10 minutes. I'll dig you up plenty of case studies
if that's the case. If it went through like that, who knows? I don't think we could say for certain that's exactly.
Is it worth risking?
Would there be different? Will people have their opinions? Sure, there's going to be people that are going to have their opinions either which way.
You've been an employee of an NFL franchise for 15 years, and it hasn't come up now. What makes you think it was going to come up?
Because it was never something that it was as prominent as it was.
You heard about Jim Bob Cooter when he was your quarterback coach being drunk in college.
Okay, well, what did Jim Bob Cooter do? Wasn't he naked and flashing himself in some window?
Yeah, which by the way is a form of sexual assault.
See that right there. That's what I'm kind of not getting. Is like, why is it coming out now when he's the head coach of the Lions and not when he was winning Super Bowls with the Patriots?
Are you trying to say some Patriots conspiracy here?
No. I'm just saying. Okay. I'm just saying. Like, you're winning Super Bowls, so you're more in the spotlight than you actually are now because you're actually.
No, you're not.
I feel like you're winning Super Bowls. You're showing that you're a winning team.
Not in this sense.
I would argue more casual NFL fans know the names of the Patriots coordinators than the Detroit Lions head coach.
Fair point.
Nationwide, I'm not talking just in this area. I'm talking nationwide.
No, I disagree. I think you're going to come under more scrutiny. Look, it's easier. I think it's easier to protect guys, especially when you're at the Patriots,
because you don't talk to anybody anyway.
And information funnels through Belichick first. If Belichick wants to shut something down, he's going to shut something down. In this case, right now, it's all going to Matt Patricia first. Mm-hmm. I think because of that, and it's going to be the sense with anything. It's whether you're the head coach of the Lions, the Browns, the Bengals, whoever, and it doesn't matter if it's just the NFL. It's going to happen in the NHL, the MLB, and the NBA. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're going to come under that type of scrutiny. I mean, that's. I don't want to compare it to being president of the United States, but when your name becomes more public like that.
be honest, I think sports is more popular than.
And I think the one of the bigger factors in all of this was, just this whole thing being more prominent now than what it was back when Matt Patricia first became head or an assistant coach with the Patriots.
Absolutely.
It's just more out in the open now. And I don't know. I like I said, I think he should have disclosed it. He should have disclosed it during the interview. They should have gotten ahead of it. And
I don't think he should have. I quite honestly, I think if from Matt Patricia's perspective, the way that it's been handled is your best case scenario. There's no way you can come out of this being, squeaky clean and just letting it run off your back. That's never going to happen. From Matt Patricia's perspective, the way this has been handled has been the way to minimize damage to him and the Detroit Lions. That being said, I think, this is the United States. You are innocent until proven guilty. You were not found guilty of something. Just because somebody accused you of being a shitty driver 20 years ago shouldn't mean you have to bring it up when you're interviewing for a job at McDonald's, should you?
Yeah, but you don't want to compare being a shitty driver to
I'm not trying. I'm trying not to.
That's a big difference.
Trying not to draw that comparison. But if you don't ask, and B, it would hurt my candidacy for, job X. Why would I bring it up?
Yeah, that's a bad comparison.
It is a bad comparison. I'm willing to acknowledge that, but I wasn't found guilty. If I'm Matt Patricia, I wasn't found guilty of anything.
Okay, well,
why should I bring it up?
I mean, you have to. Is an NFL head coach a public
figure? Absolutely,
a public, yeah. Working at McDonald's isn't.
Oh, wouldn't disagree.
I like I said, there's more that goes into that than just the comparison that you made.
Okay, I agree. There's additional factors because of the modern cultural realities, but at the same time, why would I bring it? I have no motivation to bring that up because it can only damage me. It can't help me. That's all I'm really trying to say. League also said today in a statement that Patricia would not be punished because our officer here, quote, officer reviewed the matter with the Lions and Mr. Patricia and ensured the club engaged in appropriate and thorough hiring practices, and the coach did not mislead the team during the interview process. McCarthy said in his statement. Brian McCarthy, league spokesperson. We determined the Lions handled the interview process in a thoughtful and comprehensive manner and fully and appropriately compiled with applicable employment laws. That's a bad sentence. As we learned from both Mr. Patricia and the Lions, the matter was not part of the employment interview process for job opportunities inside or outside the NFL. He will not be subject to discipline under the personal conduct policy, as it took place long before Matt Patricia's affiliation with the NFL.
I don't know what the interview process was like. I mean,
oh, you bet your ass. I'm sure they talked to high school coaches, your ex-girlfriend.
They talked to everybody who's associated with them.
Sue, who ran the convenience store down the street from you when you were growing up. Were you an asshole when you came in to buy your snacks after school? I'm sure they talked to all these people, down to the janitor at Foxborough. I'm sure at that level of position, you're applying to be the figurehead of an organization. Not the face of, but the chief executive officer. You could argue. I'm sure they got that deep, and you know what? No one found. No one found it. No one was bothered by it enough to speak about it. Till I still don't know how. Was it the Freep or the News that got this?
I thought it was the News.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoever.
One of the two.
Who dropped this tip in their lap? That's what I gotta wonder.
Yeah, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not. I very much hesitate to give the Lions any fault in any of this.
No,
I do. But I stand firm in believing that Matt Patricia should have disclosed.
If somebody was really that bothered by it, they would have dropped the let's call it the secret envelope or the secret tapes in their lap during the interview process. If somebody was that bothered by it, they would have done that then. holding it back till now is, I think, a deliberate act to try and destroy somebody. That isn't, oh, by the way, you should know about this.
Well, it's not illegal what anybody did.
Oh, no, it's not. No, it's absolutely not.
True.
No.
It's not a heat.
I'm not trying to say that, but
I forgot the legal.
This wasn't out of
the legal term for it. Anyways, I can't remember what it was. There's a legal term for it though.
For what? Try and talk it out. I'll probably be able to help you.
Trying to destroy somebody's. It's not libel or anything like
not
that.
Not libel or slander.
It's not libel or slander. It's like tortoise interference or something like that, or tortoise interference.
You're thinking of I'm going to butcher the tort law.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Like if you went and tried to get a job at someplace else.
Torts, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and
that's essentially just somebody has provided, injury to my person, whether, physically, monetarily, or otherwise. Yeah. I'd like to be compensated for that. That's all that means.
No, there's another term for it too.
Tortious interference.
Is it defamation law?
It's part of it.
I don't know. Yeah. Anyway. We're in way over our head in that part.
I'm just looking it up, looking at stuff. So
okay. Anything else on this, guys?
Mm-mm.
Lions players seem to sure be on his side.
Mm-hmm.
Had a bunch of players unsolicited to make statements about it. Yeah, we got his back. So anyway, we're gonna play a little bit of planning for the MLB trade deadline. It is a little bit over a month away. Actually, 2 months away. July 31st. Kind of brought this up by
tortious interference, also known as intentional interference with contractual relations in common law of torts, occurs when one person intentionally damages someone else's contractual or business relationships with a third party, causing economic harm.
Yeah.
Tortious interference.
You can sue for that.
Tortious interference.
Believe it. Whatever. Fucking Latin. That's what I was thinking of, tortious interference. Anyway, kind of play some keep 'em or deal 'em here. We're not going to specifically discuss the guys who are on last years of contracts, such as a Francisco Liriano, or I don't know, pick another Victor Martinez, or et cetera, et cetera. We're going to talk about should the Tigers look at dealing guys who have a little bit of club control left and who are cost controllable because of the hauls they might be able to get.
Okay.
I know your answer on this first one. We've got 12 rounds on this already, but we're going to still do it anyway. Keep him or deal him, and why? Michael Fulmer. He is only 25 years old and can be controlled by the club through the 2023 season. Keep him or deal him, Adam.
Keep him.
All right.
Okay, let me preface this. If you're gonna be looking to deal, if you're going to the mentality with, I'll listen to offers for anybody, I understand that. I'm fine with that. And I'm not saying they should totally look to deal Michael Fulmer, or they should totally look to keep him.
Actively making calls about dealing Michael Fulmer.
There we go. Yes. I'm fine with them answering the phone and discussing Michael Fulmer. However, I say keep Michael Fulmer in the sense that, and I've said it before, that he is everything that you want in a young player. He's good, he's cheap, he's controllable. The big three items right there is what you want in a young player. And
you can still have him for a couple years when you're ready to be good again.
Yes.
Okay.
So, I say keep him.
Sean, what about you?
I'm also saying keep him. First of all, if we're in rebuild mode, he's a guy that you want to build around, especially for pitching side. He's some young, basically what Adam just said. He is everything that you want in a pitcher. He's still young. Obviously, he's shown to win, and he has control on his pitching. I agree with listening to what I
was talking club control.
Well, anyways, same thing. But listen to any offers that somebody want to give you, but it has to blow your mind away. It has to blow you away to get rid of him. He's a guy that you're building around. You have to keep him. Yes, he's only 25. When you're going to be good, he's still going to be in the middle of his prime.
I have some long-term durability concerns about Michael Fulmer, just the violence in his pitching motion. I'm worried about his front knee and hip going to shit, and I'm worried about that elbow.
Mm-hmm.
I want to strike while the iron's hot. I'm not willing to move him this season without at least 2 top 100 players, a guy just outside the top 100, and a guy that I can throw on my big league roster right now.
So for you though, Dorf,
But if I can get that, I absolutely make that deal this year.
So for you, Dorf, though, it's different, and I see what you're saying here, and I'm not saying, and again, I'm not saying you're wrong, but it's with him, it's more of a fact that you don't think he's going. You don't think he's going to be as good as he is in his prime. You think that there could be some real instances there where he is struggling because of injury.
No, the reason I'm approaching it from this perspective is his trade value will never be better than what it is now.
Okay.
You can probably indefinitely shorten your rebuild by at least 1 year, possibly 2, by dealing him. That'll get you there faster. That'll get you even more young, controllable talent. Now, I'm not trading him for a JD Martinez haul. That was horseshit. That was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Especially looking at it now.
Oh my God, the guy's killing it in Boston.
Then again, he is playing in Boston.
Yeah.
Hey, him and his teammate Mookie Betts are tied for the AL lead in homers.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Should the AL lead in homers always come from somebody playing in Boston?
The AL East
Yeah.
or Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Or Baltimore for that matter. Colorado. I wouldn't be surprised. Batting title should always come out of Colorado.
Yeah.
I want to win faster, and I'm sorry that means no sacred cows. If I can get the deal I just described, I'm making it happen.
Hey,
know who else that kind of got that haul,
Mhm.
similar haul? That's the kind of haul you got for Andrew Miller from from New York to Cleveland. That's what Cleveland gave up for Andrew Miller, or New York gave up for Andrew Miller. Cleveland gave to New York for Andrew Miller. 2 top 100s, a guy that he could throw on the roster right away, and another guy.
Didn't Cleveland give up a shit ton for Ubaldo Menez too? I think I remember them doing that.
Mm-hmm.
What did Ubaldo do? Oh, he signed as a free agent with Cleveland.
Wait.
No, Ubaldo signed as a free agent with them.
Did he sign as a free agent?
Yeah. He got non-tendered
Mhm.
for his last year in Colorado and signed as a free agent with Cleveland.
Oh man, I could have. No, he got traded. Sean, look it up.
Anyway, we're gonna go on. We're gonna go on to the next guy, and Adam's gonna go through that while Sean's looking at that tasty morsel of information. Baseball Reference will have it, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Boyd, he's 27, also controllable to 2023. Adam, your thoughts?
Deal him.
Why's that?
27 years old, entering his prime now. I think this is,
He's pitching very well this year.
like you said, pitching very, very
Mhm.
well. This is one guy here that I think you most certainly strike while the iron's hot, just because he is beginning to enter that prime. He's in his late 20s. I think Matt Boyd is one of those guys that's going to hit, he can hit the wall at any time. And we've seen him hit the wall at any time. If he continues to pitch like this, though, Matt Boyd is going to be nothing more than a number 3 at the very, very, very best case scenario. Get rid of him. Get what you can for him. See you later.
Okay, Sean, do you have that info yet?
Coming up right now.
Okay. Well, can you multitask and tell us what did you wheel or deal with Matt Boyd?
I'm like right now, yeah. He's 27, right?
Correct.
And he's pitching, I think, great right now. So I believe that this is the opportunity that to deal somebody like him to get something where if you are in rebuild mode, I'm like I don't see him being consistent. I'm like this is the first year that he's actually shown to be consistent like this. So I'm willing to go and get rid of him to get something for him because I'm not taking the risk of him not winning next year or the year.
I don't think
after.
I don't think he's going to get any better than what he is.
Okay. I'm going to preface this with a couple things. Matt Boyd will not bring you a big haul. He's a lefty who doesn't strike anybody out, who throws soft.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's having a very good run going back to the second half of last year. Looks like he's a guy who's figured out how to get outs at the big league level without supreme stuff. Guys like that go on often to have long careers. They also flame out quite easily. which means teams are not going to give you a lot for Matt Boyd. I would like to hold on to him, at least this season. We can always reevaluate next year. Because I think you might have something here. That third through fifth starter, that lefty, because all your prospects coming up are right-handed pitchers. You do need some balance, especially if the Cleveland Indians keep throwing out 17 lefties every year. You need that balance. And for that, I think I'm not going to say no if I can get a huge haul for him, but I'm not actively pursuing trades for him. Whereas I would honestly actively pursue trades for Michael Fulmer.
Okay.
Sean, what about all the trade?
This is ridiculous, kind of actually.
Did he actually get traded?
Yeah, Cleveland.
Oh, Jesus. What did they give up for him?
So Cleveland traded Alex White, who was 22 at the time.
He ended up with the Astros flaming out.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't stay healthy.
By the time, he was a prospect.
He was the top 100 player at the time.
First baseman Matt McBride, 26 at the time.
I don't remember him.
Righty Joe Gardner, 23 at the time. And Drew Pomerantz.
Drew Pomerantz took another half decade to figure it out.
But still.
On like 3 teams after.
They still gave up a shit ton
Yeah.
for Ubaldo, who...
Mm-hmm.
What's Ubaldo doing right now?
Watching from home.
Yeah. Playing catch in the backyard.
He's not in baseball. He's not in baseball
no.
anymore?
No. He's a free agent.
He's on a roster.
He's playing catch with John Lackey right now.
I'm surprised we didn't get a text from Sean asking if the Tigers should pick him up.
At the beginning of the year, I was like, bring him in, let him eat up innings. I wouldn't have cared. But now it's like, Tigers.
He is 34, so I mean, he's have a good, healthy career. Broke in at 22. I mean, he played 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of tough years too in Colorado.
He didn't play in Colorado since 2011.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where was he before that?
Cleveland and then Baltimore. So he broke in with.
He broke in
with Baltimore.
Yeah. Okay.
Broke in with Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Spent like 5.5 years in Colorado, 3.5 in Baltimore, and then 3 in Cleveland.
Okay.
Or 4 full in Baltimore, 3.5 in Cleveland. Anyway, next. Right-hand pitcher, Shane Green. He is 29. His controllable.
Bye.
Trade him.
End of
Trade him.
2021.
He's shown that he can at least handle the pressure of closing games. Get him out of here. Get something for him. I don't even care if it's a
he has the league's second worst ERA in high leverage situations among people who've made 5 or more appearances in high leverage situations, right?
Mm-hmm.
But ERA is like 680
mm-hmm.
in those situations.
See,
that doesn't mean outs at end of games, and people know that.
Right.
So you're not going to get anything for
but
him.
But he's proven to be actually a good 8th inning pitcher. He's proven that.
He was the top reliever in baseball last year.
I know, so that's what I'm saying. Get him out of here.
Situations.
Give me a 4th round draft pick for him.
You
can't trade.
I know. I'm just being
you can trade. You can trade compensatory picks.
No, we do like Carlos Pena deal with the Tigers. Just give me some Gatorade in the movie.
Stock my vending machine. Adam, what's your rationale?
I want to get rid of him. Mm-hmm. I think this is. I want to see those late inning closing roles go to a younger guy.
You want Joey Meneses to have the job?
Yes.
Like right meow.
Right now.
Would you advocate for the next month swapping their roles? Shane Green go to the 8th, Meneses go to the 9th.
Sure, why not? Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Okay. Shane Green, if he can kind of bounce back and get on a little run here, close 5 or 6 straight out, maybe even 9 out of 10 before the trade deadline, absolutely. There are contenders who are in need of closers. Late inning pitchers, period. See the St. Louis Cardinals, and the arms are all falling off in Washington. Somebody will give you something for it.
Somebody always makes these dumb deals, though. I mean, look what the Tigers are able to flip Joakim Soria for Jacoby Jones.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm still not convinced Jacoby Jones is going to have the staying power.
I know, but
and at the same time, Joakim Soria hasn't been any good since he left either.
I know, but still, I mean, if that deal was still present, if that deal was presented to you right now, Dorf, would you do it? Would you
in a heartbeat, both sides. Got me what I needed if I was Pittsburgh, and yeah, absolutely, both sides. I would do it. But at the same time, he doesn't have a place in Pittsburgh anyway. Jones doesn't. Because he obviously proved he wasn't, defensive quality enough to play big league infield. and their outfield's pretty crowded. You could argue Cleveland could use him.
Who? Shane Green?
Yeah. Seattle could use him. The Angels could definitely use him. The Braves could use him. Phillies could use him. Brewers could use him. Cubs could use him. Cardinals could use him. Pirates could use him. Diamondbacks could use him. Rockies could use him.
So everybody can.
Everybody could, you'll have a taker. Now, position players. Catcher James McCann. He's 27, controllable through 2021. What are you thinking?
Keep him.
Why?
He's proven that he's starting to hit for average. His power's slowly coming in. I know he's 27, it's taking a little bit longer, but he's handling the game better than I've seen him play.
He's also been in the league since he was 24. So
it's been 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So and I'm like, even though we got Griner there, I'm like, I don't.
Griner is not a big league catcher.
I'm just about to say I don't even think he's gonna be a catcher much longer.
He's a 4A player.
So I'm like, I don't think we're ready to deal somebody like McCann because he can actually keep control of the pitching staff. Obviously, he's shown. So I don't think it's the best way to trade him right now.
It's my turn.
Sure.
You like trade him?
No, keep him.
No.
Who's coming up? Who's behind him?
Jake Rogers.
Yeah.
When's he ready? Or when's he?
Probably in the middle of next year.
Middle of next year.
But he's an all glove, no bat guy anyway. Likely going to be a platoon only or backup. Elite defense or an elite defensive guy that you don't expect to get anything out of his bat.
Yeah, keep him.
Okay.
I just don't see if he was going.
And they also invested 2 early draft picks last year's draft too at the catcher position. Those guys are in low and high A ball respectively.
Yeah. Sam McMillan.
And I forget who the other one was.
Yeah, I know. I think you're in a situation right now where you kind of have to keep
Mm-hmm.
him. You don't have that one guy in there that's going to be that everyday guy coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. At the same time, those guys are very hard to find now too. So,
Mm-hmm.
Sean, did you weigh in already?
Yeah.
Keep him. Why?
I told you.
Oh, you did. I'm gonna say you have to look at trying to take an offer for him. My reasoning is the horrific platoon split. He needs to go to a situation where there is a left-handed hitting complement to him. The anemic numbers against right-handed pitching, especially considering 2/3 of the starters that you'll see are right-handed, and he'll never see a left-handed arm out of the bullpen that's not named Andrew Miller or Aroldis Chapman. You can't do it. The guy just can't put league average batting average on balls in play. He's a sub 700 OPS guy against lefties, and currently this year is humongously benefiting from a humongous overplay in batting average on balls in play against lefties. He's getting really lucky, and no, it's nice, very, very, very nice production against left-handed pitching, but you never see any lefties. He's got 48 plate appearances against left-handed pitching, 104 against righties. Sorry, and quite frankly, his throwing numbers are going, and he's always graded out as a poor receiver. So I'm sorry, he's not a golden goose to me. He's not a sacred cow.
I'm not saying he's sacred or anything like that.
I'm not saying that you did, but his resurgence this month. He's hitting 305. He's hitting 415 on balls in play.
Mm-hmm.
That's horrifically unsustainable. So I don't think you'll get much for him, but there'll be somebody who's going to get have an injury that will take him off your hands.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Next, whatever you call defensively, John Hicks.
Ship him. Get him out of here.
28 controllable through 2023.
This is the best he's probably ever going to be right now. Get him out.
Is John Hicks a candidate for the designated hitter job or first base job next year upon the departure of Victor Martinez?
No.
I say yes.
No. Because those 2 spots are going to be Miguel Cabrera and Nick Castellanos.
They should be.
They should be.
They won't be, but they should be.
He is. I mean, they will be looking at him for that. I mean, just because he doesn't have a place really out defensively.
He's not a good defensive catch, or he's not a good defensive player.
No. You know what? John Hicks is one of those types of guys that rebuilding teams need to have in their lineup. You need to have him in your lineup because he can put up. Well, he's putting up offensive numbers this year. I don't know if that's sustainable or not going forward, but he's one of those types of guys that separates a bad team from being a really bad team. And what you would get in return for a guy like John Hicks are going to be players who you very well could never, ever see on the big league club again. And I know that not to mention, it's not like John Hicks is going out there and having some poor man's JD Martinez type of season.
His OPS is just under 800.
Yeah, which
his
is great.
OPS plus is somewhere between his current OPS plus. Excuse me, is God damn it, I'm on the wrong page.
Bottom line is you're not
just slightly above league average hitter.
The type of player that the Tigers would get in return for a guy like John Hicks isn't something that it's going to be.
You're not going to get a lot for him.
No, you're not.
He's not great at anything.
No, he's
pretty okay at hitting, but he blows on defense.
It's gonna be a guy that you very well could never see up on the big league club ever. So I don't know. I guess I'm more prone to saying that no, you keep him.
You know, he's actually
with me.
Believe it or not, this year he's graded out as a net even defensive run save first baseman.
Oh really?
And catcher a 0.
Hey, and see with
Miguel Cabrera is so far this year like a -6.
And see with me with your thoughts on John Hicks is that I'm like you would receive somebody who you think that would maybe not see the big leagues or whatever. I'm willing to take that chance. At least I know I tried, and John Hicks is not gonna do anything better than what he's now. The guy you get for him has a chance of being better. So I'm going to take that risk.
He's the type of John.
I'm
Hicks,
like, if you're in rebuild mode,
with positional multiplicity and the fact that he's a backup catcher who can smash the ball if he's in the lineup. He may not be all that great on defense, but you don't need him to be. That kind of guy has value on most big league rosters. You're not going to get a lot of value in a trade for him, but the workload that you're going to ask him to shoulder, considering the club control, you're probably going to get nice production out of him through the duration of his time here. At the same time, you won't net a lot in return if you decide to deal him. Now, he could go on some epic run and you flip him to a team who needs a DH at the deadline, fine. But if you need him to catch every day, this offensive production probably nosedives. Because he's a big dude. That's a lot to ask a big dude to play. And
you see, Dorf, I see with that scenario you just laid out, you said, okay, well, if he goes on some epic run, then you flip him. Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously you do that. However, John Hicks seems like he's probably more valuable to the Tigers than he would be to anybody else. And if that's the case, then I'm more prone to holding on to him than dealing him for some guys that are basically are basically throwaway prospects that you'll never see again. They're going to get lost in the system, and that's going to be the end.
And, especially when you're going to get away from carrying a DH-only type player going forward, despite what you think about Miguel Cabrera, you could probably put him at first base 2 or 3 times a week and get away with it if you needed to. Looking at the next year, a guy like John Hicks who can man first and catch and you can DH and stuff like that has value on a roster where you're going to play guys all over the damn place. I don't think he's a guy that you're going to build around by any means, but he's still a player that you're going to need, that you're not going to be able to find a lot of places, definitely not within the organization, guy you're going to need over the next couple of years. You're not going to get anything for him either, so I think you need to hold on to him. All right, last but not least on this topic is Nick Castellanos, whatever you want to call him defensively. He is only under club control for 2 more seasons. He's only 25.
Nicholas Castellanos is only 25.
Mhm.
25.
Shit.
I think he just turned 25.
Yeah,
too.
I was say he came up early.
Broke in at 21. Remember that?
I was say you're keeping him right now because how I see it, he's a guy that if you're in rebuild mode, yes. If you know,
I'm sorry, he's 26. I have that written down. That's a typo on my part. He is 26.
your farts.
I said my part, didn't
You
I?
said farts.
Or whatever. My farts, yeah.
Same
that
difference.
Too.
Same difference.
Yeah, no, he's 26. That's a typo.
You know, I'm like, so what I'm saying is like
He has a homer tonight, by the way.
Yes, he
His
did.
first game in the 2 spot.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like somebody said he should hit there all year.
But you keep him really right now. Obviously, he has 2 more years left in his contract. He's a guy that you could, by just his name, could bring in, you know, stellar free agents if you're still trying to build around. I mean, build for the next year, and then you know, obviously, see how he does. See the rest of this year. Obviously, he's showing he's hitting right now. Obviously, batting over 300, has like 6 home runs and 20-something RBIs, and
5 home runs, 25 ribbies.
So, you know, I'm like, he's a guy that you want to build around. He's a guy that you can offer that contract, especially being so young. You know, he basically can be the face of this franchise.
Above league average hitter at his position for the last 3 years. Defensively a nightmare, but at the same time,
He's not a true right fielder.
He's been asked to play at a position
Yeah.
his entire career.
Mm-hmm.
Guy needed to be a first baseman a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't able to do that with circumstances in the club.
Mm-hmm.
And they still aren't.
At the time, having Prince Fielder, Victor Martinez, and Miguel Cabrera.
He had to play third base.
Yep.
And that's okay. And now he's playing right field for some reason. And I don't know. What is he graded out as?
He's been doing average. I think he's average.
What is he graded out as? Let's see. Really? Only 5 in the hole defensive run saved so far.
So, average?
No, average is 0.
I'm just trying.
He's 5 in the hole already this year, which is so much better. Do you know what he graded out in 2014 as a 22-year-old third baseman? How many runs saved he was good for?
Oh, God. I would say at least 8 in the hole.
What's your guess?
$1. 7.
7 in the hole?
Yeah.
30 in the hole.
30? Wow. Good for him.
He's making Brandon Inge look good.
You know what he was rated as a last year? He was a third baseman. He was 19 in the hole.
Wow.
So he improved. 10 runs.
But yeah, we got a better third baseman.
Candelario's just as bad, guys. I hate to break it to you.
He's a switch hitter.
Doesn't make him any better on defense.
I know. I'm just trying to make it sound better.
I
You didn't get my opinion.
go ahead.
But that's my opinion.
You said
turn.
wait a second. You say he has 2 more years of club control,
Correct.
counting this year.
No, this year plus 2.
This year plus 2. Okay. I deal him.
Do you pursue a contract extension first?
I think he's to be priced out of what the Tigers want to do.
I don't think you will.
You don't think so?
You got a lot of money coming off the books here shortly.
Who's coming off the books?
Victor.
Oh yeah, Victor.
Zimmerman by the time it's time to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The compensation you handed over for Kinsler and Verlander.
I take the calls.
And then didn't we still owe Sanchez a mil this year?
That was $500,000 buyout.
Oh, okay. I thought
Okay.
it was a mil.
No, it's $5 million. Sorry,
He's
yes,
26.
So that's
26.
another $5 mil. You don't have to worry about
When are the Tigers gonna be good? We can look at another 3 years here.
Probably
I'm probably saying 2021.
2021, somewhere in there.
Okay, so
You'll be paying for. Think about it. He's reaching free agency at 27. That next contract he'll sign of the 5 or 6 year variety will be buying up all the prime years. So you're getting all
okay.
the prime years.
All
on the
right.
extension.
All right. I'm sold. I hold on to him then.
Okay.
I'm taking calls,
But you're pursuing your extension.
but I'm under the mindset that I'm going to hold on to him.
Okay. I think that echoes my thoughts exactly. I think I kind of shepherded you to that answer, but that's kind of my thoughts on this
That's okay.
situation.
I take credit for your developed hatred for Dave Dombrowski. So
Hey, my attitude about Dave Dombrowski was always a pragmatic one of, well, who do you have that's guaranteed to be better? And that sort of pragmatism and that, who's going to be better argument in sports, I've kind of had an epiphany and seen the light on that that's not good enough. You need to swing for the fence. This is sports, swing for the fences. If you aren't competing, there's no good enough. It's win a championship or it's a failure. And so you need to take the gambles. You need to take the risks on guys. And just good enough isn't good enough. So, anything else on Tigers, guys? Besides Victor Reyes and how we can continue to not... His OPS is 167. Yet he's on a big league roster.
He
ain't that fast either.
I just can't believe how bad the AL Central is.
I know. It's just... Your first place team is a game under 500.
Can't believe it.
And the Tigers are 6 games under 500 and only 2.5 games behind first place.
You're still gonna have people out there. Well, they're only 2.5 games out. They need to
How many
buy.
times have the Indians played the White Sox so far? I don't know. Look it up. That's how bad the White Sox are. They may not be all that good if they played somebody else.
I really, really thought the White Sox were going to be better this year. I really did.
You got the Royals with 13 wins, and they're only 8.5 games out.
I thought this division was going to come down to the White Sox and the Indians.
You weren't high in the Twinkies?
I was, but I thought that they were going to be just that third team that kind of hangs around
the phase at the end.
Yeah, I really, really thought the White Sox were going to be up there.
Sox. All their young pitching sucks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They can hit enough. They can hit plenty. Matt Davidson is a very nice surprise.
God, I'm hearing rumors about Jose Abreu getting dealt. Yeah.
I'd do it.
Yeah.
Mike Davidson, your full-time first baseman. You can find a DH somewhere else. There you go. Get another nice haul and load up for a couple of years from now because Jose Abreu's getting pretty old. He's what? 20?
He's 29, 30. He's like
30 somewhere.
I think he's 30.
Well, allegedly.
Yeah,
you never know.
Is this Alfonso Soriano all over again?
No, was it Miguel Tejada was actually like 2 years older than you said.
Well, same thing with Soriano.
Vlad Guerrero's probably a couple years older. Jose Abreu's 31.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to do it.
And he's a free agent in 2020. I don't know. That's too bad. Anyway. Yeah, but you got like guys like Yoan Moncada who just all he does is strike out or hit doubles.
It's sad though. Like I said, I thought they were going to be better. I really did. Yeah. And it is, I don't want to say it's disappointing because I hate the White Sox, but
well, and some young players that they thought would just be okay, like what's his nuts they've got playing center field. I forget his name. He's just been horrendous. Yeah. Can't get on base like at all.
13 and 30 though.
Mm-hmm.
Wait for you.
Only 8 games out.
Adam Engel. Can't get on base.
They are the worst team in the American League. Actually, they're the worst team in all of baseball.
White Sox?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else on the baseball?
No.
All right. Red Wings have the 6th overall pick, correct? Or is they still haven't done the lottery yet?
No, that's
6th overall pick? Yeah. Okay. Draft's a little over a month away. We're not going to talk the NHL draft. I just wanted to bring that up. And Michigan.
We'll come back next week, and I'll
2 weeks.
Some guys. 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and
get closer to it.
Who they could be targeting.
Okay. And Michigan football announced their next little spring vacation thing they've taken the last couple of years will be to South Africa next year. The team went to France this year and Italy the year before.
That's where they went to France this year?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
To France.
Don't see D'Antonio bringing anybody to France.
Not gonna have money for that kind of thing. Writing a check for $500 million out of. You can't touch the endowment either. You know that for that.
No.
It all has to come out of state funds and tuition.
Oh really?
Can't touch the endowment. Can't touch donations for it.
Okay.
It's like a legal thing, I believe.
They're gonna be going to
Your tuition dollars at work.
They're gonna be going to Hamtramck this offseason.
Well, kind of at the same time, kind of funny, Eastern Michigan all while U of M's gallivanting around France is rebuilding houses in Ypsilanti with Habitat for Humanity and essentially throwing shade at U of M for being spoiled brats on social media. You know, we're really giving back to the community, unlike those dumb fucks down the road. Essentially. Yeah, they're rebuilding a bunch of houses in Ipsy. So, anyway, anything else, guys?
Good for them. Good for them.
Yay, sports.
No, no more.
Nothing. You there? All right. That is
Wow.
gonna.
Dorf put out a movie reference there.
You did.
I have seen that one.
You've seen Ferris Bueller?
I have seen Ferris Bueller's
Good
Day
for
Off, I think,
you.
like twice.
Good for you. Great 80s movie. Probably my favorite 80s movie, actually.
It's a good movie.
Better than Terminator?
Yes. Not a big fan of the first Terminator. Yeah.
I liked it.
Not a big fan of the first one. Yeah. Good for you, Dorf.
All right, that's going to wrap up episode 169 of Motor City Uncut. Programming reminder, no show next week, Memorial Day. Enjoy your likely day off of work and remember what it's all about. Remembering those who didn't make it home.
Oh, I thought I was grilling food.